नमामि शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Nachiketa apparently goes back to his father and talks about the fact that once a word has been given, particularly under the circumstances under which it has been given, one has to keep that word. And he uses two arguments. And remember, his father is already in a dilemma. He is not sure what is the right thing to do. He's already regretting what he said. And he feels that he should send his son to Yamadharmaraja because he is committed so. But he also feels that I said it in anger, should not be taken literally, should not be taken as such. Here's the argument that happened. So the son comes up to me and says, listen, I've thought a lot about this. And I think if we look at what our own family is like, our ancestors like, you told me all that, all of them have maintained dharma. Vak is so important that they've all maintained. I don't think this is the right time to break that. One argument. And the second argument he comes up with us, saying, listen, compare the two alternatives. In one alternative, you have a dilemma. One alternative, you don't keep your word. Other alternative, you keep your word, and that means I go to Yamadharmaraja. I have to evaluate both of them. And when you evaluate this, if you don't keep your word, for what? What is the end purpose of that? You will regret it till the end of your life. And this end of life is a very short time. Whereas, if you keep your word, despite the loss that I will have of you and you will have of me, we would have been in the side of Satyam. He uses those two arguments. And then suddenly, the Upanishad shifts to a scene in Yamadharmaraja's Bhavanam place. In between, there's nothing. Shankaracharya provides us the link there, where he says, Sa eva muktaha pita atmanaha satyatayai preshayamasa. To maintain his word, the two of them discussed, and he's agreed that he should send his son, and he sends his son to Yamadharmaraja. And we also saw that you can't just send your son to Yamadharmaraja. That requires a lot of energy. And so he uses all his power that he's gained to send him. Such a Yama Bhavanam Gatva, so he goes to Yama Bhavanam. Having gone there, he has to wait Tisra ratrihi uvasa yame proshite. Yame proshite. Yama had gone outside. So he was waiting outside, probably outside the palace, waiting for Yamadharmaraja to come and tell him what to do. What happens then? Proshagatam yamam amatyaha bharyaha va uchuhu bodhayantaha. This is the connection that Acharya gives us. Because the next verse is suddenly somebody telling Yamadharmaraja something. So all this is the link that who is saying what to Yamadharmaraja and why is he saying that? What is he saying? We read this now together. Vaishvanaraha Pravishyati Atitir Brahmano Gruhan Tasyaitam Shantim Kurvanti Hara Vaivasvatodakam A Vaivasvata is addressing Lord Yama. Hey, Vaivasvata, bring water, udakam. Obviously, it must be somebody pretty much high up in the thing to be able to address Lord Yama, who is the king, if you want, of that loka. Hey, Vaivasvata, go fetch water. He is the Yajamana, and he has to do the Atitha Dharma. And who says that? Probably Amatyaha. This Hara means to bring here, Ahara, Vaivasvata Udakam. Hey Vaivasvata Udakam Ahara. Why? Brahmanaha Atitihi Vaishvanaraha Iva Grihan Pravishati. There is a Brahmana who's come. It is all the Brahmanas, like we were discussing yesterday, is not because somebody's name is something or is born into a Brahmana family, but it is the virtues, the tejas that one gains by studying Veda. And the whole society respects that. Somebody who has studied Veda, and particularly Vedanta, whole society views them with a lot of respect. Sometimes you will see people look at you and say, crazy fellow, he's given up so much sukha in the jagat to become a sannyasi. What's wrong with him? Is he right in his head? Because they can't see what this person is able to see. But generally, the society views a person who, from their point of view, has given up whatever they think is good to achieve. And this person here, like in their view, like an unthinking person, has given up all of that. For what? What is he going to gain? And I know he's not an idiot, he's an intelligent person. Where is they can't see it. But traditionally, in our culture, anybody who studied the Veda, and this can be anybody, there's no real reason that my name is Chaturvedi, or my name is Agnihotri, or my name is some Vaishya name. It doesn't matter. Anybody can study. And once you've studied that with some intent, the whole society looks upon you as somebody to be respected. There is a tejas. There is definitely power there. Brahma Varchasam it is called. When somebody does Gayatri Japa, a Purasharanam of Gayatri Japa, a Purasharanam is 24 lakh times to do a Japa of Gayatri. And not just done mechanically repeated, but with a certain understanding. They say that virtuous is there. Why does the kula come into factor? Why does the fact we born in a kula where generations have done this? Because this virtuosum actually travels down to several generations. And therefore, a person could have virtues simply by virtue of his great-grandfather having done several Purashcharanam of Gayatri. So there is a tremendous amount of respect in society, which even today, certainly within Bharat, you find anywhere you go, there's a certain amount of respect for a person who studied the Veda. This outer garment is only a upacharanam, upacharikam, saying that this person has dropped everything else and has been studying the Veda, and particularly, like I said, Vedanta. So there is a lot of looking up to such a person. Therefore, people often come to that person for advice. They are advisor to the society, to individuals, to the society. Because they have no axe to grind. They have no expectation, no pratiksha from the society. So a Brahmana is one who has dedicated his life to studying. A Brahmana is one who is searching for Brahman, who is trying to understand Brahman, is a Brahmana. Other than those definitions which we know, one who is by karma and by guna is a Brahmana, all that we know. But really one who dedicates his or her life to understanding Brahman is a Brahmana. And such a person two things will happen. One, society will look up to you. But even more importantly, there is a lot of energy that is created, a lot of power, tejas, virtues that is created. And that virtues is like any other energy, power. Any energy can be used positively or used negatively. Depends on how you tap it. Electricity is a classic example. Use it well, very, very good thing to happen. But you go and fiddle with the thing, that doesn't say, recognize that you're an electrician, I should not give him a shock. Anybody will get that. Mishandle, he'll give you. Fire. Everything is like that. Any energy source can be tapped positively or can become destructive. The same true of any energy source, that the energy source generated by years of study. So that Amatya says, Vaishvanaraha pravishyati atiti brahmano grahan. Such a person, such a Brahman, he is Brahman, or at least an aspiring Brahman. When he comes into your house, in the form of Atithi, he pravishyati, he is like fire. He is enormous amount of energy. That energy can be used as a blessing, or if abused, can be very destructive. So the Amatya says, Vaishvanara pravishati atiti brahmano grahan. Please deal with it correctly. You're the Yajamana. tasyaitam shantim kurvanti. As though you keep the fire under control. Otherwise, it can become a conflagration. These days, you find so many fires all over the world, totally out of control. So these nervous people within Yamadharmaraja's Bhavanam, they're waiting every day. The thing gets worse if Yamadharmaraja doesn't come. When he finally comes, they rush to him and say, look, there is a Brahmana who's been sitting here for 3 nights and 3 days without eating, without drinking anything, because he refuses to do anything without your permission. And that is dangerous. So please urgently go fetch water. Upashantim kuru. Otherwise, you, I, all of us will be destroyed. Tasayatam shantim kurvanti. He Vaivasvata. Brahmana atiti Vaishvanara iva grihan pravishati. Tasya etam shantim kurvanti. You know, all people, when somebody like this comes, some energy source like this comes, like a Brahmana, all Satpurusha will immediately do what needed to be done to do Upashanti. Ataha, therefore, you also, hey Vaishvanara, you also do what needs to be done. Bashyam. Vaishvanaraha. If you notice, when you read the Bashyam, you will see how Acharya picks up one word from the text itself and then expands on that or explains that. Vaishvanaraha Agnireva Sakshat Pravishati Tihi San Brahmano Gruhan Ahaniva Shvanara. Fire like fire. Vaishvanara Agnihi iva. Agnihi iva, like fire. He doesn't say it is fire. He just like fire. It is energy source. Sakshat Agnihi iva pravishati in the form of Atithi. Atithi san. Brahmana grihan dahaniva. They can, as though, burn down the entire household. Not that any Brahmana wants to burn anybody's household. But that energy source, unless it is kept within certain limits, can burn. But eva, as though. He is only giving like an example. They are like fire. If we handle it well, they'll bless you. If you don't handle it, it will destroy you. So, Atitihi san Brahmana grihan dahaniva, as though it will burn the house, entire house. What should you do? Tasya daham Ramayantaha iva Agnehe Etam Padya Asanadi Dana Lakshanam Shantim Kurvanti Santaha Atitehe yataha.
Atitehe yataha.
So what do Sant Purushas do? They daham, their burning capacity, destroying capacity, shamayanta iva. You see using the word iva everywhere, as though calming that ability to burn things down. Shamayanta iva agnehe. What do they do to try and do this in the case of a Brahmana? Etam padhya asanadi dana lakshanam shantim kurvanti. So, what do you do when a guest comes? When a guest comes home, we welcome him. In the old days, where guests would come walking. In current day, we may not do exactly the same, but the concept is the same. We don't know that guest who's come, maybe in tattered clothes, in whatever form, could also be Ishvara. So what do? We offer water for everything, water for washing hands, water for washing the legs, feet. In fact, normally when anybody comes home, in those days, they would come walking, so the host would wash their feet, give them water for washing the hands, snanam, and give them an asanam, a nice place to sit. Then they will also give food. They'll give things which smell nice, look nice. When we do puja here also for Ishvara, same process. Shodasha puja. We offer all of that. So any guest is done, but especially a guest who is a Brahmana, Brahmachari, who has all the varchas, who has all the tejas that is gained because of his tapas. So that is what they do. Tasya daham shamayantah iva agnehe etam padyasanadi dana lakshanam shantim kurvanti. By offering padya and asana and everything else. Some danam. Santaha. Who do it? Santaha. All right thinking people. Because they want his blessing rather than his destructive power. Atitehe yataha. Ataha. Ataha hara.
Ataha
Ahara.
ahara.
E vaivasvata.
He vaivasvata.
Udakam.
Udakam.
Nachiketase padhyartham.
Nachiketase padhyartham.
Therefore, he Vaivasvata, son of Vivaswan, son of the sun, please bring water. Hara. Ahara. Acharya explains. Ahara. Please bring water for padhyartham. Nachiketase padhyartham. For washing the feet of Nachiketasa, like all Santa Purusha do. To make sure that we get the blessings of this Atithi rather than destructive capacity. What will happen if I don't do that? If I do that, I do Upashanti. Then the Atithi will bless you. But suppose I don't do, what happens? Atithi himself won't do anything. If he is Atithi Brahmana, he will not do anything. But there is huge power emanating from him. That power can be destructive. And it's been already 3 days you've been waiting. He's been waiting, you've been away. We tried to give him, I'm just imagining what the Amatya would say. We tried to make him come, give him a comfortable seat. We tried giving him something to eat. He didn't, he refused. And each day that passes, our anxiety level kept going up. We were worried about what will happen. And you didn't come. Now that you come, please quickly go and fetch water and let us do Shanti. Because if you don't do, you will incur Pratyavaya. Pratyavaya is a dosha. And that dosha in such a case can destroy everything. Pratyavaya. Yatascha
यतश्च
akarane
अकरणे
pratyavaya shruyate.
प्रत्यवायः श्रूयते
Don't do this. Don't quickly do Shanti. He's been sitting there. He's Agni-like. And his Jatara Agni has been probably in great tejas, waiting to destroy. Jatara Agni is the digestive fire. So no fuel has been given to the digestive fire also. You will incur Pratyavaya dosha. Please don't let that happen immediately. I suppose somebody would have brought water. Although it's saying here, hey, go and fetch water. Vaivasvata, they're not asking him to go. Somebody would have brought water, but they ask him to wash the Atithi's feet and do Prashanti. If you don't do that, what happens? You incur Pratyavaya dosha, and he goes on to explain what this dosha will do. Asha pratikshe
आशा प्रतीक्षे
Sangata sunrutancha
सङ्गतसूनुताश्च
Ishtapurte
इष्टापूर्ते
Putra Pashuncha Sarvan
पुत्रपशुश्च सर्वान्
Etad Vringte
एतद्वृत्ते
Purushasya Alpamedasaha
पुरुषस्याल्पमेधसः
Yasya Anashnan Vasati
यस्य नश्यति
Brahmano Grihe.
ब्राह्मणो गृहे
In writing these verses, all the words like Sanskrit allows you to do are put wherever they want to put. To keep the meter, to keep the reading. But if you do the correct way of putting it, you say, Yasya alpamedasaha grihe brahmanaha anashnan vasati. In whose house a Atiti Brahmana comes, and whose house is that? Yasya alpamedasaha grihe. One who is of poor thinking. Alpamedas. There's nobody who is now without any medas, but alpamedas, not capable of thinking or thinking deeply. Yasya alpamedasaha grihe brahmanaha anashnan vasati. What happens to them? Tasya purushasya, that for that person, asha pratikshe sangatagum sunrutam ishtapurte cha sarvan putra pashuncha etat sarvam bringte. For such a person who, because of its incapacity to think through things, does not do all this for a Brahmana who comes as an Atithi to his house, he says, Tasya Asha Pratikshe. Now we look at Sangatagam Trunrutam Ishtapurtecha Sarvan Putra Pashuncha Vrinte. Everything is destroyed. Etat Sarvam Vrinte. Asha cha Pratiksha, Asha Pratikshe. We normally translate Asha as hope. Even in Hindi, we say Asha is hope. Pratiksha is translated normally as expectations. Now, both have similar connotations. Something that is going to happen in the future. Even in English language, if you look up the dictionary, they will give you a definition. But sense-wise, Asha, or hope, is something which you really, hope will happen. Generally, something will happen. Something will happen to you. Pratiksha, as expectations, they're not exact translation, but that's the closest we have. Is something which you expect others to do, somebody else to do, some other entity to do. My expectations from somebody else, my expectations from the situation. It's a very subtle difference. Asha cha, pratiksha cha. Vrinte. Asha will also get destroyed. Pratiksha will also get destroyed. You will not, anything that you hope to gain, generally, I hope there is peace in the world. No specifics. Pratiksha may be, I hope India and Pakistan stop fighting. How? Because my Prime Minister is going and reaching out to try and sort this problem out, or between Ukraine and Russia. There's a specific expectation. Asha is more general hope. May happen, it may not happen. Both cases, it may happen, it may not happen, but one is a very broad general this thing. Expectation or pratiksha is, I'm waiting for something to happen. I'm waiting for somebody to do something. Asha pratiksha, asha pratikshe, dual case. Similarly, ishtam cha purtam. Ishtam and purtam. Ishtam is definitely generally defined as that which is to be gained as a result of doing what Vedas tell you to do. Vedic karma produces a result that is normally called ishtam. And purti is when you do something for the society and there is some result there. So that is purti. Not only that, all the wealth you have, putran, pashuncha, vrinte. Vrinte is earlier we said we look at not later when Yamadharmaraja tells Nachiketa, Vrinite, advere. That is pray for, ask for. Vrinte comes from a varjan dhatu, to destroy. So he says for a alpa medas who allows this fire to become wildfire, the destruction will be enormous. Therefore, hey Vaivasvata, try and calm these things down. We'll read the Bashyam. Asha pratikshe anirgyata prapyeshthartha prarthana Asha. So that is defining Asha. We will look at that meaning in the next class. But Asha pratikshe anignyata prapyeshtartha prarthana. And what is pratiksha? He says nirgyata prapyartha pratikshanam. Tat pratiksha. Together te asha pratikshe sangatam tat sanyojagam phalam. That is what is sangatam, good company, correct company, etc. Satpurushat company. Sunrutancha. Sunrutahi priya vak. Tannimittam cha. Is caused by good vak. That will also get destroyed. Ishtapurte. Ishtam yagajam. Purtam. Aramadi kriyajam phalam. So, as I said, we will again look at the details later. Ishta is that comes from yaga, and Purti that comes from Upadi karma. Putra pashuncha. Putramscha pashuncha. Sarvan etat. Sarvam yathoktam. Vringte. Avarjayati. Vinashayati ityetat. Purushasya alpamedasah. Alpaprajnasya. Yasya anashnan abunjanah. Brahmanaha grihe vasati. Tasmat anupekshaniyah. Sarvavasthasyapi. Atitihi ityarthah. Purnamada purnamidam purnamudachyate. Purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo
Om Hari Om.
Harihi Om.